used to love watching the fire when I was your age. Now, what was it that you wanted me to do for you?
Ooh, we want you to read the story that you told us about.
Well, in that case, why don't you two have a seat right here, and we'll get right to it. Now, are you two sure I've never told you the story of the court jester and the throne?
No, great Uncle Miguel. We already told you.
Yeah, read it.
Oh, you want me to read it, do you, Emily?
Stop teasing. You already said you could read it.
You promised. I want to hear about the girls that can fight. You know, like the boys.
No! I want to hear about the adventure in sword fighting. There is sword fighting, right?
And
Yes, Emily?
can you just tell us about the girl that was smarter than everyone else?
That's a lie. Girls aren't as smart as boys. Right, Great Uncle Miguel?
Yeah, huh?
Now, you two. How about I just read you the story the way that my great uncle read it to me, and we'll let the story tell us what's true and what's not.
It's just a story. It can't tell us what's really true.
Oh, yes, it can. Matter of fact, some stories are so good that they seem to jump right off the page and pull you into the action. You want to know about the truth? Sometimes a book can tell you a lot more than you would think.
Sure, Great Uncle Miguel.
Okay, well, if you two are ready, now let's see, where did I leave off? Oh, yes. In the beginning. Now, remember, guys,
You said we were starting.
Yes, I am, but I wanted to say something first. Now remember, guys, that this didn't take place today in a cabin like we're in, but in a castle. So big it wouldn't even really fit inside of the biggest church you've ever seen. And the majority of the story happened in the king's throne room.
What's that?
It's the great chamber where the king sits on his throne and holds his court, where knights and ladies and musicians and court jesters abound.
Once upon a time, in the faraway land of Distancia, there lived King Callan. King Callan was a wise and beloved ruler of his people. In his court, he kept the ruler of jesters and the jester of rulers solemnly wanton. And the acclaimed court bard the fabulous fables.
I'm getting to you two.
As I was saying, King Callan kept such good entertainment in his court that his nobility was never far from there. Of these nobles, a knight and his fair lady wife were always there, Lady Poison and Sir Slayerlot.
I beg your pardon. It's poison, not poison.
And then I always win in jousts, not Sir Slayer, but Sir Slayer a lot.
As you will.
Moving on from our dashing knight, our master of the war drum is trying to get introduced.
No, I just sense a war coming on between our dear narrator and Sir Slayer a lot.
Very well, just surrender the floor.
There once was a lad who was 4 feet tall. He grew to a man all of 8 feet tall.
And what does that have to do with anything, Jester?
We won't know if we interrupt him, my sweet little lady. Sorry if I was harsh with you, Lady Poisia. Continue, Jester.
Thank you. I suppose there wouldn't be any importance to knowing this fact, my dear lady, unless you were one of the boys who made fun of him as a child.
Witty, Jester, witty.
Thank you.
Fable, how about a tale from our court bard?
And this lovely lady is the essence of the king, nay, the kingdom's wisdom, Dimity Blanc. It may be, in fact, that we should change her name to the Kingdom Wisdom. And Captain of the Guard are courageous.
King Callan, a word, please. It's of the utmost importance.
After Fable's tale, Dimity.
I believe more than just the tale shall be finished then. Did you hear that?
Hear what?
And so, on their search to find the legendary drum of Nijator, our two knights rode across the land on their unicorns as a putrid fog oozed into the land, and they feared that it would overtake the realm before they could find the legendary drum and usher in the long-awaited mighty man who would come to their rescue and melt away.
Away, King Callan, look out. Wait.
Don't touch me, Belly, and I can walk myself. Don't
And that was how the wisdom of our lovely king's advisor, warned of assassination plot, was ignored and once unlikely of heroes, Salome One Town. How's he doing, Dr. Tron, patience?
Better than most of Slayer-Lot's opponents.
My ankle.
It's a wonderful day in the court. The throne is safe from slayers and poisonous minds. The king, he will throw a feast to honor the preserver of the throne, Salome One Town. Oh, and there's no longer a fable to take my job with her fantastical tales. Indeed, we shall all live happily ever after.
Sorry I'm late. I tried.
Late. Again. Again!
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be late.
Huh, really. Just like the time you lost your job, just like you always daydreaming, and just like you running that red light twice.
Yeah, like those.
Adam, you really need to grow up, make something of your life. I mean, you turned 40 last month. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
Yeah, it does. It means you've only got 2 good years left before you're old too. Shane, Cheyenne, your favorite uncle's here to read your favorite story.
I'm glad you made it.
Did you think I won it?
Oh, I thought you'd dream up some excuse so you didn't have to come.
Shane, your uncle's never missed one of your birthdays.
Yeah, just everything else important.
I gotta go check on the burgers. I'll be right back.
I'm glad you're here. You want to see the cake I made?
I sure do, but first don't you want to hear the story?
No, I'm just going to go play with the dog.
Well, what about you, buddy?
Why should I? It's not true.
Of course it is. Well, not exactly, but there's some truth in it. Well, my great-uncle Neville used to say...
I know. He used to say, jump off the page and pull you right in. Look, I gotta worry about college and my career now. I don't have time for fairy tales, Adam.
It's Uncle Adam.
Come on, Shane. Julie wants you.
It's Uncle Adam.
That Julie sure is a cutie, huh?
Julie? Little Julie from down the street?
Mm-hmm. She's been spending a lot of time with my Shane. You know, she's not so little anymore. She's planning on going to an Ivy League college.
That explains a lot why he wants to grow up so fast.
Well, it's not just that. Ever since Andrew left on leave, he's been, wanting to step up and be the man of the house. Protect his girls.
Yeah, but he's always wanted to read this before. It's tradition.
Well, they've outgrown it and they move on to other things. Adam, I think it's time that you did the same.
Emily, can you help us cut the cake?
Are you coming? I gotta go cut the cake.
Yeah, in a minute.
Okay.
Oh, I left my car up there. I'm just Uncle Daydream now. Not even Uncle, just Daydream. I remember the days when they...
Prince, look, what's narrative waiting? Yes, and it's already cramped in here with just this one tale, and I have a few of my own I would like to tell.
Hello?
The king agrees. You're tired of waiting, and it's time...
for you down here, horses.
One of your jokes is funny.
Once upon a time, in the faraway kingdom of Estancia, there lived King Callan. King Callan was a wise and beloved ruler of his people. In his court, he kept the ruler of jesters, and the jester rulers, solemnly wanton. And their claim for bar the fabulous fable. I'm getting to you two. As I was saying, King Callan kept such good entertainment in his court that his nobility was ever far from there. Of these nobles, a knight and his fair lady wife were always there, laying poisonous their slayer.
I beg your pardon? It's poisia, not poison.
And then always when in jousts, not Sir Slayer, but Sir Slayer a lot.
As you will.
Moving on from our dashing knight, our master of the war drum is trying to get introduced.
No, I just sense a war coming on between our dear narrator and Sir Slayer a lot.
As you will. I shall surrender the floor.
There once was a lad who was 4 feet tall. He grew to a man all of 8 feet tall.
And what does your tale have to do with anything, Jester?
We'll never know if we interrupt him, my sweet lady. Sorry if I was harsh with you, Lady Poisia. Continue, Jester.
Thank you. I suppose there wouldn't be any importance to knowing this fact, my dear lady, unless you were one of the boys who made fun of him as a child.
Witty, Jester, witty.
Thank you.
Fable. There you are. How about a tale from our course part?
And this little lady is the essence of the kingdom. Nay, the kingdom's wisdom, Dimity Blanc. Maybe, in fact, that we should change our name to Kingdom Wisdom? Oh, and come to the God, Erica Courageous. Oh.
You two. Good. You two.
Oh, no, I don't think I'm going to introduce you to twins just yet. Alicia and Elia Verbo. I haven't seen anything worth announcing, only that I took a crazy night to dream you two up.
Not crazy. We are not. We are simply misunderstood. Have you ever been a twin? Of course not. So clearly you don't know what it's like to have such a close bond or constantly know what the other one's thinking. Look at her. Would you want to be stuck in her head? Or her in yours?
Now, Alia, that was simply...
I called for her. I know, and she's right. Sometimes I think my father read that Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan too much because I seem to take after those women the most. Especially that Fail always has to have her way. All I'm saying is...
King Callan, a word, please. It's of the utmost importance.
After Fable's tale, Dimity.
I believe more than just the tale should be finished then.
Why is wisdom always so pessimistic? I mean, why?
Do you have to be pessimistic to be smart? I don't know. Sometimes they just want to think that they're being realistic. All I'm saying is, what else can be finished besides a tale when a bard is done telling the tale? I mean, really. I'm smart, and I think I'm rather positive thinking. I just...
Finally. It's great. Or at least the new edition. I'm so glad you bought the newest edition of the story. And since you're finally affecting the plot, if now I may introduce to you...
Excuse me, dear narrator. I think it is I that shall introduce my, these two.
But your majesty, I must insist.
No, I must insist. This has been such a strange change of...
King really wish you were the kingdom's wisdom. Look at you, ow! You know, shout me, ow, stop.
Shinar's dead, my king.
Now look what you've done. Couldn't you have lied a little? She would never know the difference.
He was just an old windbag. Don't be so
Dramatic. And yes, he was. Quite. Oh, look at all of you all cowering. Oh, you're so brave, aren't you? Except for you, dear doctor. One wonders. How'd you come about such courage? Doctor on a battlefield, maybe? Little it matters. Anyone with half a brain can see that the archer, or whoever it was, is gone. Am I right, Captain of the Guard Courageous?
Oh, well, yes. Of course. I do believe the threat has passed. Rouse her. Not him, but her.
What the? How? Oh no. Oh no. Now I'm seeing things. I can only imagine what Shane's gonna call me now. Not uncle or daydream, but crazy or insane.
Who's making enough blathering noise to wake the lifeline to dead?
She speaks. She's actually awake now. She's not.
Well, this crazy, insane, or whatever new guy seems to be good for something, it seems. He makes enough noise to wake the dead. Well, not the dead, but the passed out because of the shock of death. Hey, don't you do that again. Okay, honey. How about we'll just say he's sleeping. How is that? Is that better?
Much. Who is he? Or they?
Why, he's Adam Larrabee, and they...
Well, at least my delusions know me. This is so weird, though. I mean, all of you, I guess, are recognizable. This throne room definitely is. I mean, you're King Callan, right? And you're the wisdom of the kingdom, Dimity Blanc. I know you're captain of the guard, but you
Pardon
two...
me, are you auditioning for part of the narrator? He's hardly cold in his grave. Sleep, yet. That seems a bit harsh.
Okay, but my point is, Sir Slayerlot, you know, I never liked you. My sister liked you. But hey, if you're in my delusion, I mean, shouldn't you look the way I expected you to? You know, you should be skinny and puny and sniveling with warts on your face.
Careful, Russia demand satisfaction.
What are you talking
A duel. Demand satisfaction. Challenging.
To a duel. Goodness, man, don't you know anything? I mean, how are you going to be much help at all in solving this murder if you don't know anything? I mean, I just think it's important to know something useful, and you don't even know the basics. So what good are you?
Well, of course I know the basics. I'm supposed to be solving a murder. A murder? What murder? This is a fairy tale. A fairy tale. Is nothing safe anymore?
That's enough, Adam.
Well, thanks. I needed that.
You are not welcome. That was for your insolent tongue. My husband is not at all ugly, nor the monster you seem to think he is. It's all an act when you children read our fairy tale.
Thank you, my dear.
Wait, I'm confused. An act? You're saying you all act out your roles when when children read your fairy tale?
Yeah.
And there's been a murder. What is going on here? Nothing's as I expected it. Worst of all, I'm stuck here in this world. How's that even possible?
Just stop
What's
right
going
there.
on?
Adam, is it? I'm the only one that's allowed to monologue around here. That's better. Now, just think back. What was it your uncle used to say about the story? And which uncle was it that used to read it to you? Your uncle or your great uncle? Seems like there might be some significance there.
Wait, so Great Uncle Neville was right? And there's some life in this story? And they pull you right in?
Well, you're here, aren't you? You sure about this? Seems awfully slow to me. Let's just talk about the uncle thing.
That's enough, Valiant.
Hey,
Well, at least you're as cool as I always thought you were. Hey, do that again.
Enough of that! Adam, my dear Adam, would you please take my word that you are indeed here in the realm of the court jester and the royal throne? And as unlikely as it seems, there has been a murder.
There's been a murder?
Never mind that, Dimity. Go talk to Solomon.
But he's so boring.
Boring. Never mind, later. You know, and I thought she was supposed to be brighter. She's dimmer than this kid.
When she's reading lines someone else wrote for her, we often nickname her Dim because, well, you get it.
Very well. So let's just say I believe all this. So what am I supposed to do?
Begin an investigation and, I don't know, maybe ask questions. Much better. For example, do you know the how or the what for what happened? Then you have a starting point, dear boy.
Okay. What? That's weird. This wasn't here a second ago. Okay. So, who was the victim?
Shine our narrator.
Don't worry, Dimity. He's gonna lie to you and try to tell you something mean like he's dead. But you know the truth, don't you?
Yes, he's really just pretending. Or sleeping.
Okay, the narrator. You know, shocking it's taken this long. I always assumed you'd take care of him sooner or later.
I, peasant, wouldn't so dirty my hands. And how could you think it? This murder was so lacking in finesse. If I were to have done it, there would be far more theatrics to the murder. Murder. Murder, murder, murder. That windbag of a narrator's been murdered, and I say good riddance. Though one would have hoped that he would have had the grace to die with a little more style, but then again, he was just a narrator and not a court bard.
Either you've been hanging around our dim bulb here too long, or you want to look guilty. What a rant! And where's the sense of the theatric? I'd expected more gestures and drama to that outburst.
You know, that's a good point. I suppose it's a good thing that you're cooler and smarter than I always thought you were. You have a lightsaber after all. Well, I suppose it's only natural, Bard, for you to go straight to the top of my suspect list.
But wait! Who are they? I don't know who they are or where they came from, but now that they're here, something like this happened. You did it, didn't you? You horrible, awful, droning on talkers!
Hey!
Well, she brings up a good point.
Does? Of course she does. I told you Dimity isn't stupid. She's rather intelligent.
Yeah, that info of joining on talkers was top notch there.
Now, dear, that's hardly kind.
Truth hurts.
Well, she does bring up a good point. Does anyone know who they are? I mean, I've read this story enough to memorize it, and I don't recall them being here myself. I read it so much to my nieces and nephews, because they're kids.
Very good. I'm Alicia Verbeau. She's my twin
Sister. Of course we know that you'll blame us because we're new. The new always gets blamed when something happens to the old. It's that old cliche.
Out with the old, in with the new.
And we are the new additions. We know that, don't we, sis? Though it doesn't matter that your favorite author, put us in your favorite story, does it? No. You can't simply trust him to know what he's doing, even though he came up with the story and decided to put us in his newest edition. You just couldn't trust him or do that and trust him, could you?
I didn't even know I bought the new edition.
The author didn't read.
Okay, quit making a big deal. We all know the author didn't make a big deal of the new edition. I mean, why would he? They're just a new edition. Who cares? And we know the king. He's been under so much stress lately, right?
No. I mean, yes. That's not what I mean. It's not really the author I was talking about, but my...
Oh, well, we know that you prefer this edition, Your Majesty, but I don't think we need to bore Dear Adam with reviews of his favorite novel.
Dear Adam? I thought you didn't like me. When did I become Dear Adam?
My dear boy, I have nothing against you, so long as you can refrain from insulting my husband.
Am I the only one who can clearly see that the king is trying to say something and that you odd swans, or whatever you are, keep trying to stop him?
Don't worry your pretty little head about that, Dimity.
It is pretty, isn't it? Oh, Salome, I'm so glad you noticed, because sometimes I think you don't notice. But, cliches aside,
Hey, Dimity,
the
why
king...
don't you check out this new hilarious new joke I've got? I mean, why don't you listen to this hilarious joke I've got? It's killer.
This is quite strange. I mean, helpful, I guess, but does anyone know who these two twins are and what their role is in the new edition?
Well, we don't really know. I mean, you know how those literary types are. They just can't leave well enough alone. They always keep making changes in the story until they just get it that much better.
Why, just think how Shakespeare would be changed with the times if he still lived. He'd just say he was trying to make it more contemporary. Poisons and daggers wouldn't be good enough for Romeo and Juliet, nor blades, plays, and ghosts for Hamlet. Could you imagine Hamlet discovering his uncle's guilt because he used Ashton Kutcher's pump to trick him into admitting it? Or orchestrating the whole play to look like a police tape caught on video? Or Much Ado About Nothing? The whole misunderstanding could be cleared up with video surveillance, and then...
Where would the story be? Gone. That's where?
Gone.
The point is, we don't actually know where they're from. All we know is that they're weird and creepy and come from a far off realm.
And they talk far too much to have had time to plot a murder.
Well, that I can readily agree with.
And now we've come full circle. From Fable's much critiqued outburst, back to her again.
And what are you suggesting, Dr. Tryon Patience?
Only that all of us here know how much you couldn't stand Shine Our Narrator.
He always had to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, unfortunately. Whenever I wanted to talk, but then stepped in front and got murdered.
How are you so sure?
Well, we're all sure that that the narrator always had to be in the spotlight. I mean, I knew that ever since the first time I read this fairy tale. Now, Fable, if it's possible for us all to see how much you argued with the guy and disliked the character, it only makes sense that you may have been the one who killed him.
She didn't like him, but she did give him the grudging respect of one creative type to another.
Exactly. He may have been stiff and stilted in his words and had no sense of the dramatic or how to tell a good story, but he was good at his job. You never had a hard time knowing who any of us were when you were reading, did you?
No.
Exactly. I admired his work ethic. You don't kill a man you admire, even if it is just his work ethic.
I see her point. No matter how tempting, that's just not how it's done.
And besides, what about Dimity Blanc?
What about... Ooh, shiny!
Never mind. I suppose she's too stupid. I mean, sweet to have done it.
But she's probably the only one that actually liked Shine On.
I don't know. Last time I checked, I wasn't quite sure that she did like it. Her and I were talking, and suddenly she's all about it.
Now you leave poor Dimity alone. I'll have no more abuse on her. That's when her stupidity brings upon herself.
I always thought the king was just authoritarian compared to his sweet fairy tale counterpart that is.
Now, Adam, can we please get on with this investigation? And if there's any help to you, I believe that Valium and the narrator were arguing this morning.
Yes, it does help to know who the victim was arguing with right before he was murdered. So, War Drummer, hey, come out from behind there. Every time I see you back there, I want you to play some Rush 2112 or something.
Better?
No, come on. All the way out, buddy. Front and center. Right in the spotlight. Okay. So, you were arguing. What were you arguing about?
Over which one of us was better looking.
Why would you be doing that? We all know that Salome is the best looking one here.
That's what is between Shinar and I.
Oh.
You were arguing over who was better looking. Well, that's not weird at all.
Yes, it is. When all the women like Sir Slay-a-lot, not the Jester, as if the rest of us matter.
How? Right.
Should I apologize for being me?
Nobody expects that.
But you could apologize for already being taken.
Okay. Well, back to this investigation. You were arguing, right, better looking. Yeah, so who won?
Did you ask?
We all know you didn't. Nobody ran to your side when you were killed.
Touche. Well, that's because I'm not dead yet.
Well, exactly. Hey, what would you do if I got killed?
Do? Would I have to do anything? I mean, I couldn't just die too? Wait, that would be weird. We'll have to wait and see. Squirrel! It makes the dungeon. Just
Now there's somebody you should consider. Have you ever heard of a man, let alone a court jester, who was so monotone? He doesn't even yell when you hit him.
Ouch.
I rest my case. He's monotone.
Okay. Wait. Okay. So, are you telling me that Salome One-Tone is actually Solemn One Tone? Oh my gosh, I feel like someone just ruined fairy tales and heroes and everything for me. Say it ain't somebody.
There once was a lad who was 4 feet tall. He grew to a man all of 8 feet tall, which wouldn't really matter to you unless you were one of the boys who made fun of him as a child.
That's a Jester's voice if I ever heard one.
Have you ever heard him tell a different joke? The author wrote it for him, and he delivers it perfectly.
Okay, tell me another one.
Why was 6 afraid of 7?
Because 7, 8, 9. It's true, he stinks.
Sorry, man. I've been this way since paper hit pen, or pen hit paper, vice versa, whatever it was. Maybe if the author would have wrote me as one of Robert Jordan's Brown Hodge, or perhaps one of Roddenberry's Vulcans.
Whatever that means. Look, I'll write it down as a possibility, but I really don't think a person's speaking tone has anything to do with whether they're a killer or not.
I agree. That's hogwash. He's just trying to get the focus of your investigation off of him.
Yeah, I think you may be right, Fable.
Hey, I thought we were friends. You know, you, me, Shinar, members of the Creative Guild.
Ha! You 2-bit music hack. You don't even create compositions with words. I create entire worlds, times, and people with my words and Creative Guild membership. We don't even begin to compare.
That hurts.
Look, if it makes you feel better to think that I view you as like competition for me, then let's just say that that's why we don't go out on the town.
I suppose it does help a little bit.
Hey, don't worry, man. You still got me and Dimity.
Maybe I should have stepped in front of that arrow, at least when I like a warrior. I told Mom to buy me a sword instead of my first drum. Or better yet, a combination pack so I could be more remarkable with friends.
Well, now look what you did to him. You know, I never liked you, Fable, and I was always happy when you were arrested and caught out.
Adam, that's not fair. Fable's actually very nice. And she probably wouldn't hurt anybody. Probably. And you know, she's very passionate about her creative powers. And we've all learned quite a lot from her.
Yeah, like how to hurt your friends' feelings.
Yeah.
Or maybe how to tell your friends you don't even want to be their friends.
Yeah.
You don't want to be my friend?
Go play with Sol and Val, Dim. Let the grown-ups talk. No, you see, there's so much more. Because when I tell a story, I don't simply speak. I use tone. Unlike some. And I gesticulate. Watch. Long ago, there was a swashbuckling sailor named Swallianor. And Swallianor, the swashbuckling sailor, had his own ship. It was the prize he had taken through his piratical charms, meaning his cutlass, musket, and crew, and turned it into a pirate ship from high seas merchants. Now, I could have just said that they got a ship, but that would be boring, though to the point, like Shinar narrator. But I gesticulate and use creative words. And just then, Swallianor thrust his cutlass at the captain's chest, and the captain surrendered, because that's what merchantmen do when faced with swashbuckling daring. See? Now you feel like you were in the fight. Anyway, just then, he wasn't looking for his ship, but for the long-lost secret treasure of La Dorona. And so he stood atop the bird's nest, searching for dry land.
Just then, the hugest, wildest beast you'd ever seen came swooping down, red gold-tinted claws reaching for him as he slid down the rope to escape. Really see that?
Oh, it's cute. The claws narrowly missed swooping the swashbuckling hero.
Well, what is it? What happens?
No one cut me off. I don't know.
She never gets out more than 8 words at a time.
You can count that high without using your fingers?
Of course you can, Your Majesty.
She's right, though. I mean, she just seems to be wired that way. Every time she speaks 8 words, Elia cuts her off.
I guess you weren't playing on Elia scaring herself silent.
Or being a particularly good bard.
Hey.
Believe me, don't quit your day job, whatever that is.
Now, Fable, that's hardly kind. Don't you remember what it was like when you were trying to create your own tales without the author writing them for you? You remember her first one, dear?
Nobody remembers that. We don't even need to discuss it.
But I think it would make Elia feel better.
And us laugh.
Don't be cruel, Knight of my heart.
I won't be cruel. I'll be truthful.
Which are both could be the same thing.
I don't get it.
You wouldn't.
Good one, Dimity Dum One.
That's like your nickname for me, right? Like a term of endearment?
You catch on fast.
Oh, let me check. I got this. Sir-a-lot. No, Sir Slade a lot. A lot. Sir Silly Sloth. Sardonic, slow-talking, wool-headed mule brain.
What was that?
Did she just...
Dimity? What was that?
Silly Sloth. Oh, not you, Your Majesty. I was making up a nickname for Sir Slare-a-lot. The slow-topped, light-blinded windbag. Silly Sloth. Was that what you meant?
Whatever. Just go on about your explanation, Sir Slayer-Lot.
Yeah, my explanation. I'm gonna make this very simple for you and talk slowly. When you're cruel, you're being mean. When you tell exactly what happened, you're telling the truth. Sometimes the truth can be mean, therefore the truth can be cruel.
Why didn't you just say so?
Can we please just get on with this investigation?
Oh, I think what you're really trying to do is to distract us from the first time you attempted to tell a tale.
It was cute, if sad.
Oh, and I happen to think I remember it word for word. Are you ready?
We're all ears.
She proposed to tell this epic tale of a sad-faced, hat-wearing man looking for a lost napkin in the kingdom of La Kitchen.
That's 3 times the amount of words I speak.
At any given time, yes, we know. I don't think Fable would have scared herself with hers like I did with mine. Who's afraid of a kitchen?
I've heard plenty of women walking out of there and mumbling about letting things go. So kitchens must be a frightening place. Right, Erica?
And who goes on a quest for a napkin, let alone call it epic?
It could be epic if you're the king and you've never seen the inside of a kitchen before. Or if you're any other human male for that matter.
Hey, I'll ignore that. I've cooked dinner for myself plenty of times. And TV dinners do count, okay? And look, as entertaining as this is for you all to make fun of each other as you actually are, instead of as the characters I've come to know and love, I really think it's time we get back to the investigation and solving the murder.
You seem to be floundering a little. And this is exactly what would be happening if I were the victim. So, may I make a suggestion? I suspect it could be among the one you least expect.
And not the one I most suspect. Which is why I discount Valiant Phlegm here. If he were the killer, it would be sheer stupidity for him to have an argument with the victim right before he did it.
Or intelligent, depending on if he knew what you were thinking or not.
What was that?
It's nothing.
It's just that was so much smarter.
More credit than we usually expect or give you credit for?
I don't know why. It's my new game. See? I say the opposite of whatever you say.
I see.
I don't see.
That's interesting. I don't think I'll consider that thought, though. Which leaves me with...
The least expected suspects.
Exactly.
Not at all.
Timothy, stop that.
Start that.
The least expected suspects.
Shroud the wary assassin? My great-uncle Neville used to say that. But he got it from his nephew, my Uncle Carl.
Your Uncle Carl? He must be a witty man.
I wouldn't know. I've never met him.
Don't leave us in anticipation. Who are your least suspected suspects?
Captain of the Guard Erica Courageous and Dr. Tryon Paysons.
What? I think what my wife means to say is, how dare you suspect us more than them? It's like them more than us. I demand you name your seconds right now, or I'll hit you with my metal gauntlet. If only...
He hasn't seen his metal gauntlet in quite some time.
What are you babbling about? Oh, right, a duel. Dude, you are duel happy.
So, if you suspect the good doctor and I, the least, which I must say, good taste.
I'll challenge you too, little Captain of the Guard. As soon as I find that gauntlet.
Go from here.
Well, I suppose we can light a fire and let you walk through it and have the truth burn itself out.
Let's do it.
No, it seems barbaric, and no one feels the burn anymore. So, we'll do this instead. Doctor, let's start with you. Dr. Tryon Paysons. Have you ever noticed your name kind of sounds like Dr. Try on Patients? Now, do you try on other patients, or do they try on yours?
That was so funny I forgot to laugh. Like I haven't heard that one a million times before. We're characters in a child's fairy tale. What do you want, a rocket scientist to name us?
Then you'd be Dr. Try on Rockets.
Adam, no need to be insulting.
Very well. So what can you tell me that I don't already know?
It would be easier to ask me the things I couldn't tell you that you don't already know. I am, after all, a doctor. What do you think they teach us in all those years of schooling?
Oh, you sure set yourself up for that. Try asking him another question.
Thank you. It'd be easier, though, if I could use your sword to force the answers out of him.
Doctor, you will answer Adam's questions.
Okay. So what can you tell me about the fellow characters that I don't already know?
Well, nothing about them that you don't already know. You read us so much, you practically have us all memorized. Especially when you're at home, at night, alone, daydreaming.
Hey, I only daydream during the day. I night dream during those nights. Every night.
Isn't that just plain dream? I've heard of nightmares and night terrors, but never night dreams. Why does everyone make everything so much more wordier than it needs to be? Is it just to confuse me?
Yes, Dimmers.
I knew it!
I'm gonna solve this right now.
Oh, thank
Thank you.
Why don't you stay away from him?
Doctor, don't try Adam's patience.
Very well. I bet that you all didn't know that our good and royal highness, King Callan, has had a number of unexplained accidents lately.
Somebody's trying to hurt the king! Somebody's trying to hurt the king! Somebody, do something before someone's hurt!
They already were. Remember, our narrator, who was standing in front of the king?
Quick, Erica, Captain of the Guard, stand in front of His Majesty!
Nonsense! I can't have you all watching me, standing in front of me. That would really make things hard.
Excuse me there, Kingy. But did you just say that would really make things hard?
Nonsense. Don't be ridiculous.
Pray, Your Majesty, what did you say?
Because that's what it sounded like, and I don't think we all need our ears cleared out, especially especially other things you said during the night.
Hot wood ready make plains car. Indeed, hot wood ready make plains car.
Which makes perfect sense. Oh, wait, I forgot.
It doesn't make any sense at all. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I know royalty can say some pretty crazy things. This one just tops them all, the top of the world.
The top of the world. Isn't that a
song? As I was saying, who in their right or wrong mind would say hat would ready make plains car?
Yeah, not even Dimity, without her lines written for her, on a bad day, half asleep, for a week, for like 2 weeks.
Okay, we get it.
You see, it's the sort of thing I learned some days ago, or some years ago, learning to become a king. You see, a king must always keep his composure, because at times things become tense. And in order to keep his composure, you can just spout out gibberish, like, that would ready make plains car. Gibberish.
I get it!
She gets it. It would take Tim's trying to understand just dim logic.
Now, dear, that's hardly polite, even if it is true.
I thought we already talked about the truth and how it's often cruel. Or at least you are. I just call it like I see it.
Well, stop calling it. What do you think, Adam, dear? I must admit, I've never heard King Callan spout such gibberish.
You know what? Maybe it's because nobody's ever been killed in his court before. For all that is good, Lady Poisia, a man was killed here today. Killed. And all you can do is chide your husband for making fun of Dimity, making fun of the king. Now, is that very ladylike? I don't think so.
Jester!
Thank you. Sorry. Just taking all that I could. If I took any more, I would blow.
I think you just did.
But you feel better now, don't you? Not only bottling everything up.
Right. Well, I'm not sure you really said hat would ready make plains car. I think what you said is that would really make things hard, which is what we all heard. But if that's the case, what would that mean?
Yeah, exactly. Because if my guarding you would really make things hard, and by me not guarding you would really make things easy.
That just doesn't make any sense.
And for once, I happen to agree with her. Wait, unless...
Can she go to that? When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Oh my gosh.
She has a weapon.
That's the key. The missing crossbow. I mean,
We didn't mention that it was missing, but it was, and now it's found. And it's been missing since yesterday at least, and
the king never mentioned it, or even
seemed to know that it was gone. He's always checking his private collection of ancient weapons. And we can't borrow one for more than an hour without him noticing it's gone. And this one has been gone for more than an hour for a whole
day. For a whole day.
Whole day.
Okay, I got it.
Whole day.
I get you. So, if the king always knows when someone borrows one of his weapons, that really only leaves me with one conclusion. The king must have known who borrowed it and where it was because...
King Callan took it himself.
What was that? Are you getting smarter, Dimity?
Who wrote that for her? You slipped it to her, right?
I only just figured it out right now.
Well, that's just an awfully big plot twist for her to grasp.
Well, no, sometimes I get lucky. Like in the fairy tale when I know that you're planning to kill the king with their help.
It's because the author wrote that for you.
Oh. Well, then I don't really know how I knew it, but does anyone else really want pistachio ice cream right now? Because I really do.
Yeah, there's my unfocused.
That's our dimity dum one.
Well, what say you to that, king? Where do you think you're going?
Dimity, I'm so shocked. Oh, yes, I did it. I did it. Can't you understand? I run out of here. Can you imagine what it's like living in one fairy tale after another, the same one for that matter. I want to live. I want to venture. I want to travel to the Guinea Highlands and find the road to El Dorado.
Yeah, maybe I'm missing something, but how could you do any of that when you're dead?
I didn't put a real arrow in it. And had you been here this morning, you would have noticed I was asking China why he was following around, and then I was just going to laugh it off, but it became so real.
Yes, it usually is real when someone is shot. To believe you can fake that with a fake arrow, that's something I would expect from Dimity.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to melt into me like theater blood. Like a shaped water balloon.
I hate balloons.
Yep, and that's why they're not allowed in the kingdom anymore. But where would you get one, Your Majesty?
Well, I made it.
I remember this. Wait a minute. No, wait.
Go get it.
I don't
Get it.
get it.
Get it from her. Go get it. Get her.
I found this and it
Before
was
she
wrong.
kills somebody.
And I knew that I should fix it because as Kingdom Wisdom, I knew that it
Thank
wouldn't
you.
be very wise to leave it wrong. You know, it needed a real arrow.
Let's put this on the
It
top
still
here.
does. It needs a real arrow.
Now, I don't want to insult her, but how did she know that it needed to be fixed?
I'll handle this. Dimity, we have a very important question for you. We need you to answer very carefully, okay?
Okay.
How did you know it needed to be fixed?
Well, not on my own, silly. I'm not a rocket surgeon or whatever geniuses are.
Dimity, how? You know what? I might take a nap while she tries to figure out her answer.
That's easy, duh. Captain of the Guard, Erica Courageous. Who told me
It's her, save us, sire. Don't let her.
Get to us.
Erica,
we won't
get off.
play with your ancient collection anymore.
Erica, get off me before Poisia thinks you're flirting with me.
Don't push her, dear.
She can't hurt me. I'm a knight.
Oh yeah, funny man. I should just do it, just for fun. And all of them will thank me, because you're so mean.
only today. It's how he shows he's sad about Shine our narrator.
We aren't going to let you get away with this, Erica Cowardice. Hey, I told a joke without it being written for
You know,
me.
Jester, don't try anything. No one's writing you the hero this time.
Come on, Erica, just let him go and stop acting like the demented villain, and he'll become you.
Oh, too bad. For him, your favored or not so favored knight is going to be my shield. We're leaving, and if you try to stop me, I'll write myself out and then him. I mean, I'll kill myself and then him.
Wait a minute. It can't be that simple.
You were never really his favorite.
He may be now. He's funny. But stop pretending. You said right out.
No, I said kill.
Only after you corrected yourself. You could come out now, Shine our narrator. Can't believe it's so simple. I can't believe I didn't see it. You can't kill a literary piece with an act of violence, with an arrow or a sword or a lightsaber. In order to really kill someone in this fairy tale world, you'd have to write them out of the story. Right? Shine our narrator?
Well done, Madam Larrabee. You're right about him, King Callan. Or should I say, Carl.
I thought I would be telling them about this.
But that was before you tried to take my place as a victim.
Carl? Carl Larrabee? My Uncle Carl?
Yes, I didn't think you would come here all the way you did, but thanks to Shina, yes, I'm your uncle. And you should know from our family's love of literature how you can just be sucked into a town and be at one place or the right place. And, you know, we can make changes to it, like I did with the twins.
Well, I knew that the author hadn't thought them up.
Yes, and I wanted children.
They don't look like children to me.
They act like children.
That was rude, Dimmers, talking about our ages.
Like that?
Yes, I wanted children. I had a bout of dyslexia. And I wrote down 51 when I meant to write 15.
Oh, that explains it.
Explains a lot.
Yes. Well, I didn't think you would join us the way you have. pretending that. You had grown out of this fairy tale, but you loved it all the same for the sake of the children. In trying to blame your delusion and your ties to us, and blamed it on a daydream.
Well, at least I know I wasn't crazy for thinking of all those daydreams.
Well, I fought it almost as hard as you did. But then Uncle Neville found me and placed me here as king.
Uncle Neville? That explains so much about the way he expected to be obeyed.
Yes, your Uncle Neville was monarch here for several more years than your other uncles.
Wait, so you're like retiring and I'm gonna be king? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's like that story, Princess Bride, where the dread Captain Roberts was played by several different men over several years.
I'm the dread Captain Roberts? That's so awesome. Wait, are you sure you want to give this up though, Uncle Carl? It's really cool.
Absolutely. I wasn't lying. But before I leave, it's important that I tell you about
El Polygrapho?
You don't think we named something that's your entire duty to protect by some lame English word like pen, do you? It'd be boring.
It's right over here.
Yes, it's with this pen that it controls everything in this world. We can plug things in, take things out.
If we're stuck between both worlds like us, right?
Yes. There is one other family of officially, but there's never been a problem from the late Fay hunters.
It's gone! Who could have done this? What?
But I'm too handsome to be written out. Sire, you have to solve this!
Time out. Okay, this is not good. Just as it becomes my responsibility it goes missing, that's not gonna happen. You're all gonna help me, right?
Yeah.
Good, I knew I could count on you. You all seem to love fairy tales and adventures just as much as I do. And that's how you can tell the measure of a man, or person, or kid. But who would want to steal El Polygrapho anyways? Or the script? Well, the script is kind of obvious. You can't write your horrible changes without something to write on. And if my Uncle Carl here is to be believed, it has something to do with the live Fay Paunters? Have you ever heard of a live Fay Paunter? You think any of these guys are live Fay Paunters? I've never heard of it. But anyways, this is what we're gonna do. We'll come down there and talk to you. You try to figure out who stole El Polygrapho and the script, which is the mystery here. Write it down on your whodunit slip, then give it to me. And together, we'll solve the mystery of the Polygrapho and the murder mystery. Dinner. Time in.
The middle table, she's sitting there writing something down.
She get a razor to me.
See this one over here? I think this one kind of.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Focus. We cannot just sit around waiting to be written out. We have to do something. We can turn out everyone's pockets or...
I don't have pockets.
Okay, I know. Hold on. Okay, retrace our steps. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm waiting.
I know who it is. Oh, I know it's...
What's wrong, Abel? You had center stage, but yet you just stopped.
All the attention is everything you thought or...
What's wrong? What? She never stops talking when she has center stage.
Dr. Troy, impatience.
She's being written out.
Bring it back in case it spreads.
Can it do that?
Dang it! I'm a doctor, not an editor. How am I supposed to know how these things work?
This thing has never happened before. Faber, can you hear me?
Everybody just stay calm! Stay calm. Calm. Okay, this villain can write out the whole tale with me in it. What are we gonna do?
You did it, didn't you? I saw you knew it this morning.
I didn't do it. Let me go, man.
Hey, you leave her alone.
Don't you cut her off. You know she did it. You always cut her off, even though she got her 8 words out. You treat her just as bad as most women treat us men. You know what it's like when us men we can't get our word in edgewise.
Hey,
And her too.
What's going on?
Dimity, somebody stole the... Alright, you know what? Forget about it. I want you to sit there. Just relax. I don't want anything to happen to you. Narrator, can you watch me?
You've always been kind to me, Salome.
Jealous much? I think it was her. Her sister's going, and I think Sir Slayerlot's got the right of it. Erica, search her.
Gladly.
Oh my goodness.
You're doing this. You lied. You swore you wouldn't write me out. Oh, you lying lummox.
That's it. Okay. Everyone spread out. Put your hands up.
Adam!
No one else could be written out of the story if everyone's hands are in the air. Now, I need you guys to shout out a warning to me if you see anyone so much as move a pen or a script or a boligrapho. Okay. King, what can you tell me about this other family?
Well, there always seemed to be one of them in this town as long as we've been here. They've always been wanting to take control. They're smart, intelligent, crafty, shrewd, cold-hearted. And just as we have always been uncle to nephew, they are aunt to niece.
Well, at least we know the men are innocent.
For once.
Women.
You said it.
Yeah.
Ah, stop it! You can't write me out. Did you see anyone move? Who was it? Narrator, get over here.
Hey,
Hold you.
easy. I just did get you. Get your mental cracks.
Someone trying to write out their fellow characters? Not likely. Who are you working with?
Stop it! Hey, come here. Stop it.
Please stop trying to take this, Salome.
You better not try to write me out.
Should I stick by the plan, Shinar? Tell me what to do.
Stay by the plan, Dimity. Stay by the plan and...
All right.
Run us off, crazy Lafayette Punter.
It's Google song, not Life a Ponta. Don't you know anything? A Life a Ponter is someone who goes to a church called Life Point. It's not a last name, you muscle-bound drummer. And you all thought I was the dumb one. Ha! It's all of you who never looked beyond my dumb surface-level character.
Oh. My foot is stuck to the floor.
When did this become a musical?
Just now. I have power.
Go ahead and do it already.
Take this.
Or are you too afraid to write me out like you are my tale? I'm the hero here. What did you think would happen?
I wanted to spare you at least, Salome. You're the only one who didn't always treat me as an idiot. I used to think it might be because you might actually love me. But I see that Shinar was right now. He only cared about me as a friend. Unlike you, Shinar. He thought he could use me to take control of all of you. But you were wrong, Shinar. I won't write out the man I love. I won't write out Salome.
Give me the pen.
Lovely singing voice.
There's my girl.
No. You're just a character. I'm much, much more. Much more. I'm going to rewrite this tale. Get rid of all you mean characters and replace them with nice ones. I'm going to take all of this and make it better!
Nice work, Sir Slayerlot. I'll have to rethink disliking you.
Thank you.
Kind of you.
I'll take that boligrapho. Shiny. Whoa, she's done a lot here. I'm not sure if I can... Well... There. That should take care of you, Salome. She only started a revision on you, unlike these other characters.
I couldn't write out Salome, not him. It was the pen. I've always wanted a pen like that, so Shinar said, why not take it? Because it was my birthright as a Vogelsong.
He knew?
Oh, I wanted to written you out either, Valiant. You were usually kind to me, especially when I first arrived and you thought my aunt had just moved away.
Well, someone had to look over you since you were so stupid, naive. And you better than Salome and I. We aren't exactly the most popular characters with everyone else.
Yeah, I told you guys you were all mean.
But you don't want to listen to us, did you?
Nonsense! She's from the other family. She's one of them. The enemy! The feud!
Did you even know who they were? Do you even know their last name?
Yeah, and why would they put her in charge of your advisor if she was the true villain?
That is something to rule out. But we know one thing, that the narrator, he is evil.
Yeah, and he was written out, so I guess we're all thankful for that.
And Fable and the twins, though?
Let's say I would do it if they were music, but let's just say the dialogue and description isn't my love like it is Fable's.
And I suppose I could tell a joke if it would work. And I really could now. I'm no longer monotonous.
You said you wanted this pen, Dimity?
Yes. When I was 5 years old, my mom took away all the pens from me for 2 whole years. I've had a bit of an obsession ever since.
Weird.
True story.
Okay. Well, I've read the story enough to have it memorized, but I don't know.
I'll help. If you won't lock me in the abyss between the writer's computer and the publisher's acceptance letter. There really is such a place, Adam. The rubbish locker.
Dimity, don't you try anything or we're going to lock you in the rubbish locker.
I know. I only pretended to be stupid when I first got here and I overheard the king talking about the other family and how to find them, and, well, I was afraid he'd catch me and send me to the rubbish locker.
I don't know. Do we trust her?
She seems more trustworthy with that accent.
I think I believe her.
Are you crazy? Only in a fairy tale would you believe the villain's just misunderstood and that now she's good just because she says so.
Honey,
Yes, my dear?
we are in a fairy tale.
Ooh, right. Oh, well, then carry on.
I'll be watching you.
Yes, quite. All right. Can we give her red hair?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
All right, you need a semicolon there.
I disagree.
No, a semicolon, a real semicolon.
I respectfully disagree.
Okay, the dot and the comma.
No.
Semicolon.
That out.
And then
I thought you understood how hard it was for me to always be in her shadow. Wait, why am I still speaking past 8 words?
We fixed that.
Yeah, we'll see how much you enjoy sharing the monologues equally with your sister. Oh. Bourgeoisie.
Yes, bourgeoisie.
That's a word.
Yes. Lace wearing men. They're French.
Alicia,
Oh.
why didn't you ever tell me you wanted to speak more?
I didn't have enough words.
Hey, you just stopped before 8 words.
I can do that and speak past it now.
Yeah.
I remember that part. You can do it.
Well, now that Fable's back, it's time I leave.
Well, what do we need Fable for?
Oh, I want her to write the tale I leave on.
Really?
Yes. And I was thinking about something like a pirate on the high seas. No, better than that. Lost on some distant plateau, far off land of Venezuela's south. And never knowing what's around the corner. And I think I might have my real name as well.
Thank you, Your Majesty. It'll be an honor.
Do you ever go back, Uncle Carl? My mom always wondered what happened to you and where you went.
I suppose maybe after a few weeks or so, I can go back. I'd be taking your mother with me, but she never seems to get away from reality. Unlike me. One day I'm sitting there reading you, and the next day...
Well, I'll try to live up to you.
You'll do better than that. Herr König, Adelmo.
Long ago, there was a great traveler named Lord Carl Larrabee, who went up a wild and unexplored river in the largest jungle in the planet. There, he found a plateau full of undiscovered wonders and mythical creatures like dragons.
I think I like this tale already.
Dragons?
What were you expecting? Dinosaurs?
Yeah. Well, looks like everything's set to rights. Unless anyone thinks we should still send Dimity to the rubbish locker.
And you know, I think she's doing better, but if she ever tries it again, definitely.
I don't think it'll happen again. She seems quite contrite. Why, in fact,
I think that she'll settle in just right and be more normal now that she doesn't have to act so stupid. It's a good thing she had
Salome to pull her back from being a villain.
and vouch for her when she said she changed.
Well, that just leaves us with one problem.
Or two.
What are we going to do about the role of the narrator and also the twins that were written into existence?
Oh, I think I have the perfect solution for that.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I do. Let's write this. Dimity, these twins love to talk so much. Let's write it so that they are now the narrator. They are, after all, my new favorite characters.
Witty, King, witty.
Hey, that's my line. And my favorite one. Witty, Jester, witty.
Nephilim? But I haven't.
Nonsense. You and Valiant saved the day. If not for you, the entire cast of characters may have been written out in one fell swoop. If she hadn't been so careful to not write out the only two gentlemen in the script.
Hey, I think I'm offended.
It's your prerogative. You're the one, after all, who always pointed out that the truth can be cruel. And now, let's finish the tale.
And that's how the court jester, the master of the war drums, used love and kindness to kill the old narrator's plans.
And stop the tale from being stopped permanently.